you step up to a stoplight, you're not going to wait for all 16 on your pathway to turn green. You wait till the first one's green. And in my world, I just forced the first one to turn green. Right? But you just go, you just take action, you just do it. And like you said, it's a leap of faith. It's hard. Start small, one investment a year, start small, right? And then just grow it, just be consistent with it.
That reminds me of the first time I heard the saying that everybody is always asking the question of like, should I wait to buy real estate when it's really buy real estate and wait, right?
Yeah.
Like that was John Acloggy that opened my eyes to that one, right? Like it's this idea of the more time that you have in the game, right? Just like figure out how to get on base. And then at that point, once you have runners on base, someone's gonna take you home. And we just talk so much about the different ways to figure out how to get on base. And like this idea that people having money in their retirement accounts, right? Like what your 401k represents with your company or an old IRA from last time you were working, whether you can take a loan out from it or you can go into self-directed to then invest with it, has all these different options that people don't realize on top of just finding people to partner with and get in on these deals and do stuff like that.
It's really interesting. It seems like we have to like convince people that it really is about getting into real estate and then waiting. But if you think about how everyday people make their decisions to invest in their 401ks, which is in the stock market, what do they say? Hey, listen, just start contributing to it. Don't really pay much attention to where you're putting it. Just put it in there and then wait. And in 30 years, it's going to be great. So it's like, as a society, we're already conditioned that that's what the normal thing to do is in the stock market. And there's value there because over the long haul, the stock market has cycles and it does perform, call it 7, 8, 9, 10% or whatnot. You just don't exactly know when the bottom's going to drop. But why don't we just think about that for real estate too?
Yeah.
Get in and wait and let this beautiful asset class work for you. Like, why is that so different? Why do we have to try so hard to convince folks?
I have an answer because I've been dealing with it for the last 15 years, right?
Yeah.
And it's amazing because I think you hit a nail on the head. So when you, I think, subconsciously realize that you don't have control and you don't have any education around it. Most people are not stock market experts. They're not financial experts, right? Most people, I'm not. I have no idea how the stock market actually behind the scenes works.
Right.
And I think there are probably very few people in the world who do, would be my guess. But if you know you don't have control, then it's easier to buy into, okay, well, I'm just going to set it and forget it. I'm just going to put money into it because that's what everyone does. And herd mentality, okay, should be fine. And it might be. But when we talk about real estate, most of us, I think, had the phenomenal opportunity to grow up in a piece of real estate, hopefully. And we have emotions around it. And we have an emotional tie to the asset class because we can see it, we can touch it, we can feel it, we can control it, right? And so then it allows us to get in our own way a lot easier because it's easy to not think of real estate as just an investment class, just like stocks and bonds and mutual funds and oil and gas and alternatives and crypto. And those are all just investment classes. They're asset classes, right? Just like real estate is. But we have this kind of innate knowledge because we grew up in some type of something with four walls. Hopefully most of us did. And if you didn't, I love you for it because you're amazing. You fought through life and you're still here. I love it. But most of us grew up with a home, right? So we have emotions around it, knowledge around it, and we have these things. So what we need to do is rip ourselves out from the emotions and put on our investor hats and then work to get educated. Okay, I can't control the outcome here, but how do I? How do I choose because we do still have to choose what type of investment we want and how we want to invest in it. But we need to treat it like an investment, not like, I'm the expert because we know we're not. And that's okay. I need to not dominate the controllables is what I'm trying to say. Have enough education, partner with the right people to give you that education so you can dominate the controllables, right? But it's not it's if you choose which stocks you want to invest in, usually you're going to lose, right? The market's going to beat you. That's usually how it works, right? Like that's one of the pieces of advice I got for stocks was if you're going to go that route, don't pick them and don't try and time it. Well, it's the same thing with real estate, right? It's the same. Make sure you're investing in a good, solid market with a good team that knows what they're doing. And the fundamentals are all in place, right? Like make sure you're buying at a good basis. Make sure
Mhm.
you use debt to do it. Make
Mhm.
sure it produces some kind of income, right? Okay. Like it doesn't need to be that much more complicated than that, right? And we can kind of take the same approach, but we get in our own way because it's something that we have emotions around, right? And we can control a lot more.